Hey everyone, my name is Maddie Heredia. I'm a land manager and the outreach specialist for the Office of Kentucky Nature Preserves, and I'm just going to give you a brief introduction and overview on who we are as an agency and what we do. So the Office of Kentucky Nature Preserves is a state government agency. We are in the Energy and Environment Cabinet, and we have a list of duties that we adhere to by KRS statute. And to sum all of this up, because you can read it yourselves, is essentially we buy or help partners buy land to protect it, either because it's biologically significant, it has rare or endangered species on it that we want to try to help promote habitat for, it's got rare habitat, or it's just a unique recreation opportunity for the public. So this map is showing all the properties across the state that KNP has involvement in. We own a few properties that are represented here in red, and we do a lot of the management work ourselves on those, but we also have conservation easements and deeds and dedicated property. It can get a little convoluted, but we have involvement with a bunch of other properties and partners across the state through our KHLCF program and our Wild Rivers program. The Kentucky Heritage Land Conservation Fund is one of the programs that we administer. It's made up of a board of 9 members that is appointed by the governor. And essentially it's a pot of money that is funded by these Nature's Finest license plates and a few other things. But that pot is split in half, and half of it goes to state agencies like ourselves, Kentucky Division of Forestry, state parks, KDFWR, to purchase land for conservation and land management. Now the other half of that pot of money is open for application for groups like local governments, nonprofit organizations, land trusts, universities, to apply for that money to also purchase land for conservation. And this is how we have involvement with Floral Cliff. So a portion of Floral Cliff was bought with the Kentucky Heritage Land Conservation Fund, and therefore Nature Preserves has a conservation easement on it. We do yearly inspections, and we partner on a lot of things, collaborative things like biological inventory work and education programs like today. As an agency, we are structured with a couple of branches, and we have our natural areas branch. And this is where a lot of our land management takes place. We have a couple of cool restoration projects going on right now that involves manipulating habitat into something that would support rare and endangered species that used to once be there. And we do that through a lot of ways versus, mechanical or chemical removal of invasive species. We use prescribed fire, lots of cool stuff like that. We have a growing prescribed fire program. I actually am one apprentice burn boss away from being a burn boss in Kentucky. It's a really unique management tool that is used to promote native vegetation, control woody invasive species. You can reduce fuel with routine prescribed fires to reduce the risk of catastrophic fire later on down the road, and just overall improves forest health and grassland health. So our biological assessment branch, we also have a plant conservation section. Nature Preserves is one of the leading organizations in rare plant, long-term rare plant monitoring and conservation in the state. So under this branch, we collect a lot of data on properties that we own. We get contracted out to do biological inventories on other properties as well and store all that data in a database. So there are a lot of cool projects going on right now at Nature Preserves. I'm going to highlight like 3 or 4 so you can kind of give an idea of some things we do, but there are definitely way more cool projects going on right now too. But one of the projects that I got to be involved in last year was the bird banding and telemetry project, partnered with Bernheim Forest. And this is just a cool project to contribute to research and learn more about bird migration patterns. And the groundbreaking thing about this project was the transmitters are solar powered, and that was pretty cool and new. We have citizen science projects going on. I think this one's just wrapping up, to map out distribution of Kentucky land snails. Our aquatic biologists are working hard on our ongoing Green River Dam removal project. They took preliminary data and data after the lock and dams were removed in certain sections to see how the species were recovering, and just see how it affected the natural community after that was removed. And our plant conservation section is doing a lot of cool stuff right now, but just to highlight one of their projects, they are partnering with the North American Orchid Conservation Center to do research on how to propagate and reintroduce these species into suitable habitat. Our zoologist has been doing a lot of biological inventories on moths, invertebrates in general, but with a focus on moth species across the state. And she has found plenty of new county records and state records, which is fascinating. And we think it's just because, moths are just a really understudied group in the state. So with all of that information, we have an organized way of storing it. In total, Nature Preserves records data for about 879 species that are of concern, threatened, rare, or endangered that we keep track of. And all of this data is stored in a database, and it is made readily available to the public through our Kentucky Biological Assessment tool. And anyone can access this. You just go to our website online, you pick, it's like a GIS map, you pick a project, and if you want to know what is everything that's existing and living in this little parcel, you can do so. And this helps a lot of contractors, other conservation agencies try to make the best management decisions. And this is half of my job. I do a lot of environmental outreach and education, and due to COVID, that has all come to a halt this year. We had to cancel a lot of programs, but we still have found a way to be creative and do a lot of virtual outreach. But in the past, we've done, citizen science projects. This is a hike from our land snail project. We do a lot of volunteer days where the public comes out and helps clean up trails, clear them, clean up trash on the parking lots, build bridges occasionally. I do a lot of youth education programs. Some of the ones in the past are, focused on water quality, macroinvertebrates, monarch tagging, and a few other things. And some of you may have heard that we had a really cool event planned for April this year that was canceled, called the Nature Summit. We're rescheduling, hopefully, for April 23rd through 25th of 2021. And I just kind of want to put this plug in here to get people more familiar with it and excited about it. It's a 3-day event at Pine Mountain State Park. There's going to be about 20-ish field trips that are going to be exclusive with experts and very hands-on, from anything from, aquatics, fish sampling surveys. There's going to be a bat sampling survey, herpetology hikes. There's going to be activities for kids, adults. There's going to be a social, a movie night, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. And with that, I will leave you, I guess, with questions. You can email your professor, maybe she can get them to me if you have any questions specifically, or here's my email right here. So have fun today.